So not sure if anyone knows much about the brain, but we actually have an upstairs brain and a downstairs brain. The upstairs brain is our logic and reasoning. So forethought, problem solving, all that good stuff. Our downstairs brain is our instinct response. So fight, flight, freeze, fawn. There's about 7 of them now, those instinct responses. And they're kind of separated by like an amygdala. And the amygdala in the brain is like the gateway to the brain, they say. When something happens that puts your brain into a fight-flight mode and the instinct kicks in, that's because the amygdala locks the upper brain. So if a snake came out at you and went to, jump towards you, if you use your upper brain to manage that, you'll end up dead. It goes too slow. And that's why we have a lower brain response. The lower brain is fast, and when the lower brain is in action, the upper brain's locked. Problem with that is you don't have logic and reasoning when you're in a lower brain response. Now, adding another edge to this is autistic children have a bigger amygdala. So they've looked at that. This is a neuroscience-based situation where they actually have seen that the amygdala in autistic children until they're 12 years old is bigger than the amygdala in non-autistic children. Which would infer, of course, or which actually directly states, that there's a more increased likelihood of those lower brain meltdowns. So a lower brain response is done in a way that it almost seems like it's subconscious at the time, like the person doesn't have control. We've all seen an autistic meltdown. It's quite full on. And the child sometimes doesn't even seem to be there and sometimes doesn't remember afterwards. That's because it's in the lower brain and the amygdala's locked the upper brain. Next curveball is you don't actually have a fully formed upper brain until you're in your mid-20s. So children don't even have a fully formed upper brain. They don't have access to logic and reasoning like adults do. It's much faster and much quicker for them to get locked into a lower brain meltdown, and have to solve things with an instinct-based response. Now, also remember that sensory dysregulation happens in the lower brain. Holy dooly. So you've got another whole catalyst for an autistic person to have lower brain meltdowns because they're going to be in sensory dysregulation a whole lot more than anyone else. And a lower brain meltdown, it's not controllable. The child is not able to talk and engage and discuss with you during it. If they can do all those things, they're in an upper brain meltdown. They're not having a lower brain meltdown. You got to remember the lower brain meltdowns are done without control. And that's why children can get so dysregulated and so upset and so distressed and have no capacity to stop themselves. It's a lower brain meltdown.